Hey there. It's me, Eden. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to my channel and visit my Patreon page for early access, link in the comment. Thanks. This story is written by Martha. Thanks, Martha, for your story. It was a Friday afternoon, and I saw Terry smiling as she walked towards my house. Now, she has known my mom for some time, so I figured she just came over to say hello to my mom. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I have kinda always had an attraction to her, but since I was in my junior year and she was older than me, so I didn't really think that I would much of a possibility of getting a date with her. But we were approximately the same in size to each other, and little did I know why she was coming over, and I can just tell by the look in her eyes that she was going to get me back for all the years that I was teasing her. And it did not matter that I not only her but I've teased other girls too, including my sister Deirdre. I mean, isn't that what a boy does to girls? I just thought that this is a normal thing, especially when you like a girl. But I knew that Terry was more into the athletic guy, so I really didn't have much of a chance of getting a date with her. So, I figured she and my mom were going to talk. To my surprise, she said to my mom, "I am here to see if Richard, do you know if he's home yet?" Mom looks at Terry and tells her, "He's upstairs. Why don't you just go upstairs and say hello?" Terry looks at her, nods, and says, "Okay, thank you." Yeah, she goes upstairs. And she's go up to Richard's bedroom and knock on the door. Richard says, "Come in." Terry comes into the room with a grin on her face, which I know is not a good thing with her. I am thinking, payback for all the teasing that I've done to her. So, I wait for whatever she has in mind to get back at me. Or is she going to make a comment about my body? Or that maybe I should try out for drama class because there's no way that I could ever make it playing sports. So, I waited for her to speak. She begins saying, "I have found out something. What would your teachers do if they knew that you cheated on your test?" I looked at her, not sure why she was saying what she was saying. That's when she pulls out the evidence that she found out that I've have cheating on a test, and it wasn't just any test, but it was the test. One that could get you suspended if they found out about it. With a smile on her face, she says, "I've got you, and you will do whatever I tell you to do, or I will turn you in, and you will lose everything that you have gained. Because you cheated, and I will tell all your teachers what you did, and I can promise you that they will not take that lightly. Then they will suspend you, and you will get a 0 on your test." She hands me the evidence on a paper, and I can't believe she found it. I was totally shocked at what I saw. She looks at me and says, "I want you to come to my house with me right now. Do you understand me?" I replied, "Yes, I will tell Mom that I am going to your house, and I'm sure it'll be okay, because your mom likes me very much and she trusts me completely." Terry and I began to walk back to her house. Little did I know what she had in mind. I was pondering my thoughts. What is she going to do? And then, what am I going to do to make this go away? Because this would destroy my chances of going to college. We arrive back at Terry's house, and she says, "You need to follow me up to my room so we can talk privately about this." She begins by saying, "Richard, from now on you will obey me and you will obey everything that I say to you from now on. You will not question me. Do you understand me?" Richard says, "Yes, I understand." Richard is unsure what she is going to do or tell him to do because he cannot let his secret out to his teachers or he will lose everything. And she says, and then she says, "And your mom will find out about this too. If you do not do what I tell you to do, and you probably already know what your mom would do you if she was to ever get to know about what you did, and you know what your mom would do if she found out what you cheated." And that's when she said that would be very bad. Because she's would be devastated, and I know that you would rather die because you know how much it would hurt my mom so bad. So that when I told that I would do anything for my mom to not find out that I cheated on the biggest test that I was ever given at school. That's when she says, "That's right. Now let's begin. My prom is coming up, and you are going to be my date." And I'm thinking, okay, that ain't that bad, I can handle that. So I say to her, "When do I need to be ready to go?" She says, "In 6 weeks. I said, "No problem. I'll just tell Mom I need to get a suit, and I'll be willing to go with you. But I will tell you that I am surprised that you are asking me to go with you. Because I thought I wasn't your type of guy that's you would ask me to be your date for the prom." And that's when she says, "Oh, well, you're going to become my type, Richard, because you see you're going to the prom with me as a girl." And that's when I looked at her like, and I thought that she crazy? Because I began to say, there's is no way in hell I'm going to go with her to a prom dressed as a girl. And she pulls out the paper again and says, "Well, I think your mom and all of the teachers would have something to say about this." I knew I was done for because there's no way that I could have her to ever disclose to my mom or my teachers about what I did. So, I agreed with Terry. That, I will do whatever you tell me to do. She said, "Now you are being a good girl. Okay, I think we will begin by calling you your new name from now on you are Regina, and you will answer to that name every time that I say it. It will not matter where I'm at, you will respond. This is not an option to you anymore, Regina. Do you understand me, girl?" I look at her, and I say, "Yes, I understand. From now on, you will also be nice to your sister Deirdre. From now on too, if for any reason, she tells me that you are not nice to her, then you find out what is going to be happening to you and you should know that she will be answering to me, so believe me, if she tells me that you aren't being nice to her, well then I will just have to let her know about what you did, and I'm sure that she will have no problem with letting your mom know, or she also will blackmailing you too, just like I'm going to do to you. And she will basically order you around just like I am going to do to you. You are also going to address me from now on as Miss Terry when you answer me or speak to me. Do you understand, Regina?" I look at her, and I say, "Yes, Miss Terry. Every day after school, you will come to my house, and if you get there before I do, then you will have to wait for me to come home. So do not go to your own home thinking that is okay, because if you do then you will earn a punishment for your actions. So you will wait for me at my house, don't knock on the door. And if for some reason I offer you to come in the house, that's when you say to her, 'No thanks, I will wait for Terry outside, and when I get home, that's we will go up to my room, and then we are going to get to know each other very well. And I am very tired of all the teasing you giving me. It is time for payback. For all of those times you were even worse about teasing your own sister about her clothes, the way she looks in them, and I think you have a bad attitude towards us women. And you are going to learn your lesson from now on, Regina. You are my girlfriend, and you will be my date for my prom, girlfriend. You will be dressed in a very gorgeous gown. You will also be wearing high heels, and your hair will be perfect. From now on, you are not cut your hair. In fact, we will be going to the salon next week to begin your feminine-looking hair. And don't worry, I'm paying for the salon, girlfriend." I look at Terry, and I say, "There is no way that I am going to dress as a girl and go to your prom." And Terry picks up the phone and says, "Hello, Linda, this is Terry." Regina says to Miss Terry, "No, I'll do it. I just want to let you know that Richard's gonna be a little bit late each day. He's going to be helping me after school each day." Linda says, "That's no problem. I'm sure she's in good hands with you." She hangs up the phone and says to Regina, "Okay, first you'll have go and buy the latest girls magazine, and you will know what magazine is because it will be with the prom dresses on the cover of it, and then you will meet me at the house tomorrow. And if you complete this task then I won't tell your mom or your teachers about what you did if you do this. But if you do not do this, and I will consider whether or not this earns me the right to tell them. Do you understand me? I reply, yes, Miss Terry, I will be a good girl, okay, good, now you may go home now, and I will see you tomorrow. With this, Richard leaves the house and heads back to his house, thinking on his way home, how did I get myself into this mess, and how am I going to get out of what she has planned? I will be the laughingstock of the whole school if I show up wearing a dress at a prom. He says to himself. That night, I did not sleep well, and my little sister knew something was up because I was being nice to her, and this was not normal, and she knew this. So, she just looked at me with the questioning look in her eyes. And she really wants to know what is going on. Anyhow, she stares at me wondering, but she does not say anything to me. I was really lost in my thoughts during school the next day, thinking about what Miss Terry said. So after I got out of school, and that's when I went to the store, and it didn't take me long before I found the magazine, and I headed to checkout to purchase it. I knew that the clerk looked at me weird, but did she not say a word to me, and I paid for it, and I left and began heading to Terry's house, which I knew she would be home by now since I had to stop at the store and buy this magazine. When I arrived at her house, she says, "Come up to my room," and she says, "So what have you decided about my prom?" Richard lowers his head down and says, "Miss Terry, I would be honored to go to your prom as your date as a girl, but I do ask you, so I am not embarrassed, that you make me presentable so that I am not the laughingstock of the whole school when I come to your prom as your date. I ask because I don't want to be humiliated in front of everyone." Terry looks at Regina and says, "Of course, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know. You are now Regina. I want you to say, 'Hi, I am Regina, and I am going to be the prettiest girl at the prom.'" I start to hesitate and saying it, but I knew I had to say it. So, I say it mumbling, and Miss Terry is not pleased with how I said it. She says, "Say it again, and mean it, and look at me when you say it. Now try it again." Miss Terry says, "So from now on, when you obey me, you will be rewarded. When you do not obey me, you will be punished. Do you understand what I am saying to you, Regina?" "Yes, Miss Terry, I understand, and I will try to be the best girl that I can be for you." "That's good. You need to start carrying a purse. This is your first punishment, and you will carry it over your shoulder as you go home tonight. And when you come to my house tomorrow, you will be wearing it when you arrive." The next day, when leaving school, I remembered that I had to be carrying her purse on my shoulder before I got to her house. I figured I would wait until I was a block away from her house before I would put the purse on my shoulder, figuring that she would not know. And I did not put it on in the moment that I left school, as she expected me to do. So, when I arrived at her home, she beckoned me back to her bedroom again, and she says, "I want you to say what I told you to say yesterday to me again." Mumbling again, Richard says, "I want to be the prettiest girl for your prom, Miss Terry." Terry looks at him and says, "What did you say?" Richard then repeats the words again, but in a low voice, and says it again, "I want to be the prettiest girl for you at your prom, Miss Terry. We are not getting anywhere now. I want you just to say it like you mean what you say." Again, this time, saying it with a strong voice, "I want to be the prettiest girl at your prom, Miss Terry. This is okay, but now I want you to say it in a feminine tone. And we will say it over and over, and now you'll go to the store again and you will buy a very pretty notebook, and you will buy a pen that has a fuzzy tail to it, and you know that it will be very feminine for you to have, and you will use this pen when you write the following, 'My name is Regina, and I will be the prettiest princess at your prom.'" And that's when Miss Terry says, "So from now on, this is what you will say to me whenever I want to hear it from you, and to make sure that you know what you need to say, you will write this 500 times in this notebook when you come to me tomorrow. And I will be expecting your penmanship, and it needs to be very feminine when you write this. And if I do not think it's very feminine, you will do it again, and I will tell you how to correct your writing, so it appears more feminine looking. For example, you'll put hearts over your eye. And then, on Sunday, we are going shopping for your gown, and you're going to enjoy that very much, Regina. Richard realizes it hasn't sunk in that he will be dressing as a girl in the stores trying on different gowns in front of the department women. Terry says, "Okay, now you can go to the store and buy your notebook and pen and then you can begin writing what I told you to write." Richard replies, "Yes, Miss Terry," and leaves her room. That's when she leaves her house and starts heading to the store to buy a notebook and a pen. He hadn't had a very hard time finding a notebook that he thinks Miss Terry would be pleased with, but he found it more difficult to find the pen that he believes she would be very happy, so with his purchase he went home. He had to do his homework from school first, but he knew he had to write what Miss Terry has told him to do because if he didn't get it done at home, he would have to do it at school, and he really did not want anyone to know what kind of pen he was using. The next day, he starts heading to Terry's house, forgetting that he forgot to pick out 4 dresses and say what he liked and didn't like about them. So he just wrote it down whatever because he thought she could think of anything unusual coming from a guy talking about different dresses, so he really was not thinking how Miss Terry would want him to answer her about them. When he found on the back page the prom planner, which he was supposed to begin to know, he tries his best to memorize it before she got home, but he knew he was not ready, so he knew a punishment was going to be given to him for this. "Since you did not take this very seriously, and I am not pleased with your penmanship either, you will do this over again tonight. And if you have to ask Deirdre to show you how to write more feminine, then I can always let her know that you need to do this." "No, no, no, Miss Terry. I will do that right, I promise I will. For your punishment tomorrow, you will meet me at my house, and you will be carrying your purse tomorrow with you, and you will also be carrying my books when we go to school in the morning." And Miss Terry knows how much Richard is going dreads this because she knows how hard it was going to be to try to explain what was he going on. And she knew that it wouldn't be easy to explain it to his classmates, and especially if they saw him carrying her purse before tucking it into his book bag. He knew that he could take it with him without having to carry his purse like most girls do. He knew that a lot of girls would also put their purses in their book bag as they get to school, so this is when Regina puts her purse in her book bag, so this is not too much out of the ordinary. "But I am not a girl," he sighs. He replies to Miss Terry, "Yes, Miss Terry, I will be here tomorrow morning to meet you and walk with you to school tomorrow. And I will be bringing my purse with me, and I would be very happy to carry your books for you. This is your first punishment that you have to do, and you will do this every day from now on that we go to school. Tomorrow is Saturday, so we are going to the salon to give your hair a more feminine looking, and I really want to thank your mom for letting you not cut your hair all these months, and I think it's long enough that salon can work with it." Terry giggles and says, "Make sure that you pick out the hairstyle that you want to go with. I want you to have at least 3 different ones to mention to the lady at the salon. So, you can now go home, but I will see you tomorrow, and don't forget to tell your mom that you are going with me." In his head, Richard thinks, "I'm just gonna pick out 3 whatever hairstyles and just tell the salon lady that she just needs to pick one that she thinks will work for me that will look good. Because I wasn't going out to an elegant place, and that's I only needed because it was going to be for Halloween and that I was going to look as a girl, and so it did not go back to normal style, then it wouldn't matter. And if the hair only went back to an androgynous look, I could say that my girlfriend likes it looking very feminine, and I really want to please her and do what she says. This is when I starts to say to Miss Terry, there has to be some way that I don't have to do this for you. You have to let me out of this, so I don't have to do this." Miss Terry looks at me with a very stern look. "No, you will do this, and there is no getting out of it unless you want me to tell your mom and the teachers about what you did." "No, Miss Terry, I will do what you told me to do. I will pick out 3 hairstyles for tomorrow, and I will see you tomorrow." Miss Terry looks at Richard and says, "Okay, now there's going to be a punishment for you because of your actions, and you will find out what it is before we get done at the salon tomorrow." And that's when she says, "I know what your punishment is going to be." we will need to do some lingerie shopping for you, and from now on you will start wearing them all the time under your clothes except the days when you have to go to gym. That will be the only day that you will not be wearing panties and bras underneath your clothes. But you will be wearing them all the time other than that day, even during the weekend. And I will be checking to see if you are wearing them, by the way, so don't think you can try to fool me because you can't. And if you keep being a bad girl, then more punishment will continue to happen to you. Now we need to start training you the proper way to sit like a girl in every situation. Whether you're sitting at your dining room table, sitting in the living room watching TV, getting in or out of the car, you will learn how to do this properly right now. And you will start doing this from now on every time, so it will seem natural to you because you will not want to make any mistake, especially once you are wearing your prom dress. In fact, you probably should know that you will be wearing your dresses and skirts before then, because you also will be wearing other dresses besides your prom dress, because you have to learn everything about the proper way you need to be whenever you are going to wearing a dress or a skirt, and you will need to know how to do this. And unless you are wearing a dress as much as possible, then you won't understand why it's so important for you know exactly how you need to doing it. And so when you are wearing a dress, you will automatically keep your legs together while you sit. You will cross your legs at your ankles and swing them to the side a little bit. Or if you want, you can cross your legs. And when you get up, you will keep your legs together all the time. Now let's practice this until I am satisfied with your progress. It took an hour before Miss Terry said, "Good, now I want you to keep practicing this because when you come back tomorrow, remember, we are going to the salon, and you will see if you can do it properly when we arrive there. And don't worry, your appointment is scheduled as Miss Regina." Terry giggles. The next day, I tell Mom that I'm going with Terry to the salon to get my hair done the way she wants it to be done because she really fancies a new look for me, so I tell my mom do not be surprised when I come home. And so that's when I headed up to my room with the notebook in my hand of the pictures that she told me to bring to the salon with me. The next day I begin heading towards Terry's house. Terry is waiting outside for me when I arrive, and her mom is also with her. We all get in the car, and I do it the way that Terry has taught me how to do it, so I do not get any kind of punishment. We arrive at the salon, and Terry's mom goes in first. Miss Terry follows behind to tell me and that when she tells me that I was a very good girl when I sat in the car properly, and I deserve a reward, and she will give it to me when we get back to her bedroom. I'm not sure of what reward that I was going to get, so as I went inside the salon I immediately went to the counter and told them that I had an appointment today and that when I was asked what my name is, and I knew that this was going to be the first time I would say my name. After I did that, she told me to please have a seat and I wouldn't have to wait very long. So as I sat down properly, while we waiting to be called back to the stylist, and every once in a while, I get a smile from Miss Terry. And I can tell that she's as pleased with the way that I doing everything exactly as I was supposed to do it. When I get called, that's when I go back to the salon lady, Miss Rosenberg, and she begins. "How can I help you today?" she asks. "My girlfriend wants me to have a more androgynous look," I say. "Do you have something in mind?" Miss Rosenberg asks. "Well, she should have told me to show you these 3 pictures, but I personally want you to do your best for me because I don't have the slightest idea what that would look like, and I trust you completely." "And I definitely want to please my girlfriend," I replied, just like the way that I answered her back as Regina, because she had already known that I am Regina, and that's when she pick out a style for me and show it to me. That's when Miss Rosenberg begins working on my hair, shampooing it first, and then cutting it and styling it and putting rollers in it, and then putting a cream over top of my hair, and then putting a plastic cover over top of it and putting me underneath the dryer. While I am under the dryer, I begin looking at the magazine that I was told by and started reading the articles about the prom because I really wanted to surprise Miss Terry with what I've learned from what was in this magazine, because I wanted to please her as much as I possibly could. Miss Rosenberg comes over and lifts the hairdryer from my head and walks me back over to the chair where she begins rolling my hair. I notice the look has come out very good, and I know that Miss Terry will be pleased with it. I thank Miss Rosenberg for doing my hair and making sure that Miss Terry can hear me when I say it because I know this will make her happy. We get in the car again and head back to the house. Terry's mom unlocks the front door, and we all go in the house. Terry already knows that I will follow her up the stairs, so when she goes up the stairs, I follow her. She knows that she doesn't have to call me because I've been doing this every time I come over anymore. When we get to her bedroom, I smooth underneath my bottom like I was taught before sitting down, and again, she says, "I am so happy that you know how to do this, and it almost seems natural for you." With that, she takes the necklace that she was wearing around her neck and puts it around my neck. This is for being a good girl and learning the proper way to sit and behave today. I am very pleased with your mannerisms, but I think that we need to work on your walk because it's too big of a stride. Girls walk with a smaller stride, and they walk in a straight line. You will do it from now on, so when you come to pick me up for school tomorrow, I will be watching you how you are doing it, and if you don't get it right, then I'll be teaching you again how to walk properly. You may go home tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Remember that we are going gown shopping tomorrow, and we will be going to various stores to find the perfect gown for you, and I bet you will just love that too. With that, Regina heads back home and worries about how Mom is going to take her new hairstyle. Mom looks at my hair when I get home and is surprised at how feminine it looks, but just looks at me with a strange smile on her face. But when Deirdre comes home and she just stares at me, and then it's not long before she starts to laugh at me and she can't believe what I have done to my hair. This is when she's lose it, and this when I am very mean to my sister by my words, and I said a lot of things to Deirdre and I don't even think about the words, and a lot of those words were hateful, and this makes her cry. This is when she runs up the stairs and goes into her bedroom and continues to cry. Then this is when my mom gives me that look, and that's when I say I don't care, and I tell Mom. That's she deserved it. She laughed at me and she made fun of me. You're the one that got your hair done. You could have said anything else to her, that maybe you just wanted to have a different look. You hope that will learn to love this look from now on. That's when I say I think I love this look from now on, and I think I'm gonna wear it from now on. That's when my mom says that I needed go to your room. And I knew that my mom was disappointed with me. Especially because of how I treat my sister with my anger. I go to my room and I don't even want to think about what I have said to my sister. Then next thing I know, there is a knock at my door, and I know it's my sister. She says, "Let me in." I say, "No, I'm done with you." She says, "Let me in, Regina." My mouth drops. I cannot believe that she has called Miss Terry. So as I begin to tell her that she can come in, this is when she informs me about what Miss Terry has told her about everything. Well, then this is when my sister says, "Well, what a fine mess you have gotten yourself into. Now since I now know about you will do what I tell you to do, or I can promise you that will tell Mom." I knew that Miss Terry told my sister about my cheating, and I knew I had to have to also obey her from now on. So from now on, you will call me Miss Deirdre. Do you understand me? And you will do whatever I tell you to do. By the way, I love the panties and bras that you are now wearing. I am surprised about my sister knowing that I now have to wear bras and panties always except on my days that I have gym class, and I say I can't believe Miss Terry has told you that. That's when she says, "Oh, Miss Terry has told me so much about you. I am really looking forward to having a new big sister, and I have to say that I really love the name that she has chosen for you. And I see that you know how to sit just like a girl, and you know that you need to keep your legs together while you're sitting." Oh, yeah. I will be letting Miss Terry know about how you are doing everything correctly. But I'm thinking it's time to teach you how to do makeup because you don't have very many days before it will be your prom day, and that will be a very important day for you, and you really want to look good. So, we are going to practice doing your makeup, and you will learn how to do it yourself. And you will do it from now on whenever I tell you to do it without questioning me about it. You'll just do it. Don't worry, you will not have to do it while you are going to school, but you are going to wearing it when try on different gowns tomorrow, so I think it would be very good for Terry to see how well you can apply your makeup, so that way you won't be embarrassed because you look like a woman when you try on different gowns tomorrow. And you know what? She has invited me to come with you tomorrow. I am going to be there, and I am going to be giving my opinion on each gown that you try on. And I'm going to enjoy it. Now, let's get going on your makeup first. We are going to match your foundation to your skin. I think this one will work. You see how the color matches your skin, so it doesn't really look like you are wearing makeup, but you are. This will get rid of the flaws that you have. Oh, by the way, before we begin, you need to go into the bathroom and shave your face. Better yet, shave your whole body and then come back out here. So I go into the bathroom knowing that I have to shave my whole entire body now. I know I have to do this, and then I have to come back out of the bathroom where I know that Miss Deirdre will inspect me and sees that I've done a good job. She says, that's I have done a good job, and she knows that Terry will be pleased with me knowing this too. Don't worry, I will let her know that you have done a good job about this. I know that I have to look at my sister to teach her how to do things to make yourself more feminine in everything. That's when I say, so how am I going to explain this at gym classmate when I have no hair on my body? That's when my sister says that it's not her problem, it's my problems. She giggles. Now you need to sit down at my vanity, and I will begin to teach you everything about how you will apply your makeup. She shows me how to apply my foundation, putting on powder after that, and then she starts to do my eyes, teaching me how to do all of it. She does my blush, my cheeks, and then she does my lipstick, and then she adds lip gloss to my lips. She shows me in the mirror how I look. See how pretty you look? Now we're going to take it off, and you are now going to do it. And you will do it until I am satisfied, okay? I knew I did not have any choice, so I begin doing the makeup over and over until she is satisfied with me doing it. She says, good. Just remember that any time that I say you need to put on your face on, you will always know that this when you need to go and put your makeup on. And like I said, I will not embarrass you unless you earn it. So if you do something mean to me again like you did before, and you will be wearing your makeup in front of our mom, and then I'm gonna love watching how you're going to try to explain why to her. Why you are wearing makeup, and she'll believe you reason. So do you understand me, Regina? Deirdre giggles and says, I just love that name that Miss Terry has chosen for you. Oh yes, I know, and that's why you address me as Miss Deirdre from now on, Regina. The next day, my sister tells me that really need to get up, and that's when I start getting ready to go to different shops to begin my journey for finding my prom dress. This is when she says, you know that you can't wear your boy clothes today. But you in luck today because I'm not going to make you wear a dress or a skirt, but you will wear a pair of feminine pants and a blouse with your bra and underwear that you are wearing too. I was thinking that I was going to say something, but I knew better because I definitely did not want to be wearing makeup in front of Mom. And at least we did not do that until Mom was already gone from the house. But that's what my sister said, it's time to put your face on. I did that, got dressed, and we started heading towards Terry's house. Since it was not very far to the shops, we walked there from Terry's house, and Terry was waiting for us when we arrived. We went to a bunch of different shops, and I knew that I had to keep trying on gown after gown on. When we came across this one pink gown that I knew Miss Terry would love to see me wearing, I said to Miss Terry and Miss Deirdre, this is the gown that I want. With that, Miss Terry called over one of the ladies and said, "We need to get this dress, the proper size for my boyfriend, because we are going to the prom where we are dressing as the different genders this year. So, I will be wearing a suit, and he, or should I say she, will be wearing a prom dress. We want a good fit. Also, remember, she will be wearing 3-inch heels." Well, that's when the sales lady says that she will need her to wear the heels so I can get the proper measurements, and we knew exactly where the shoes that I needed to wear while she did all of the pinning for the proper fit, so we go over to women's shoes area to find the best pair, and the shoes are also in the same shop. We immediately goes and grabs a pair of heels, and that's when another sales lady says, "You are going to need to take off your socks and put on these nylons which go around your feet so you can slip on the heels." I take off my sock and I put on the nylons around my feet, and I really start to love this feeling, and I am getting excited about it, but I do not want to show that excitement to Miss Terry, afraid of what she may do next. With that, I slip the heels on, and I step up on the platform, and she begins making the necessary pins for the alterations to my dress that I will be wearing. And I know that it's only 1 week away before the prom is going to happen. With this done, Terry tells her, "We will be back in a couple days to get the gown because we will need it for Friday, which is prom night." The lady says the dress will be ready, and I can call when it is, and you can come and pick it up. That's okay. Regina is going to one who will be picking it up because she will be the one wearing it, so I need you to call him, or should I say her, as Terry giggles, and they leave the store and head back to Terry's house. While they are walking back to the house, Deirdre says, "Thank you, Miss Terry, for giving me my big sister," and gives her a hug. When we arrive at Terry's house again, I know to follow them up the stairs, and this is when they begin teaching me more and more how to behave and always act like a lady. They even when they start to work with my voice now, and they keep working with me at it, and I have to keep working at it until they are satisfied with the tone and the pronunciation of my words. Before we are allowed to go back home, so as me and Deirdre start to walk back home, and as we walk into our house, this is when I start going to my room because I am so tired. And all I just want to do is go to bed. But to my surprise, I see that Deirdre has laid out a nightgown for me, which I look at her and I give her a look like, "Are you kidding me?" But I know that I cannot to say anything about it. Because I knew that she will make my life even worse than what it already is. So, I put a nightgown on, and I go to sleep, and I know that I am not allowed to take off my panties or bra. So I have to sleep with them on. 3 days pass, each day learning more and more the proper way to do things as a girl is supposed to do them, and I get the phone call saying my dress is ready. Mom is surprised to hear it, and I just say, "I need to go get the dress for my girlfriend because Miss Terry has not told her why I am doing what I'm doing yet." When I come home, when my sister carrying my prom dress, she makes a comment about me, and that's when I make the mistake of treating my sister badly again. I know it's out of habit, but I did it, and then this is when she looks at me and she knows that our mom is home. This when she says to me, "You need to go put your face on," then that's when I say, "No, I'm not going to do it," and this is when my sister looks at my mom and says we need to have a talk. But first we need to call Miss Terry first, and that's when my sister goes over to the phone and dials her number, and after Miss Terry has answered the phone. This is when my sister says to her, "I'm going to put you on speaker as we talk. I think you should tell our mom about Richard's secret." This is when I knew I was done for. My mom was going to find out about the cheating. I knew that Miss Terry and Miss Deirdre would tell our mom about it. This is when everything is revealed to my mom, and she just looks at me and she says, "I can't believe you did that. This is why you are dressing the way you are, and your hairstyle is the way it is. Do you know what? We are going back to the salon, and you are getting another feminine style done to your hair, and this time everyone will know that you have a very feminine hairstyle, and you should know that you will now wear your hair in this fashion in public every single day." And whenever that you aren't at school, you will only be able to become more of a lady, and you don't need to worry about your feminine mannerisms because we will help you, because from this point on until after the prom from now on that you will wearing dresses and skirts as soon as you get home from school. And this is when Miss Terry speaks up and says you don't have to worry about coming to my house anymore. I know you'll be in good hands with your mom and your sister, and I don't have to worry about your progress, but don't worry, I will come over to make sure everything is going according to plan and you be ready to go to the prom. It's the day of the prom and I'm wearing my prom gown, and I know that I'm going to the prom, and you are both going to the prom. Both of you are wearing gowns and you are going to be together for the whole night. And I knew that I had no option but to do what my mom told me to do. The next day, we go to the salon after I get out of school, and Miss Rosenberg is told by my mom what hairstyle I will now have. With this, Miss Rosenberg begins working on my hair again just like she did before. After shampooing it, she puts even smaller rollers into my hair, and again pouring a liquid on top of my head before putting me under the dryer again. After the dryer has finished, she rolls the rollers, and I cannot believe how feminine my hair is now, and there is no way that I will be able to go to school without hearing from my classmates about it either. When Terry sees me the next morning as we walk to school, she giggles and says, "Oh my gosh, you are so pretty, and you are going to be the prettiest girl at the prom." That's when I start blushing, knowing that I was going to a prom with my girlfriend that I always wanted to go with, but I am going with her as a girl, and there's nothing I can do about it. The prom arrives, and both of us have a great time at it, and then she tells me that ever since she has been giving me since this all started, that the pills that she has been giving me are estrogen pills. That is why you have noticed the different changes in your body and your mannerisms. I tell her that we needed to go over to a quiet area in the gymnasium, and then this is I begin to talk, and I begin by saying that I want to tell something too. First I want to say thank you, Miss Terry. You have made me a very happy woman, and I really want to be a woman, and I always want to be with you as a woman for the rest of my life. I don't know that Mom has already set up my appointment to get my orchiectomy done the next day after her prom is over. Terry says to her, "That's okay. I knew that you wanted to be a girl from the beginning, and I knew that you always had this desire ever since you were a little child, and your mom told me about it, so this is why I did this to you. And I am glad that you're able to see the happiness of you becoming a girl, and I know that you don't know that we are going to the hospital tomorrow." I look at her in astonishment and say, "The hospital? Why am I going to the hospital?" "Well, we are going to get your breast implants and orchidectomy surgery done for you, because you cannot get your sex reassignment surgery and until you have lived successfully as a woman for 2 years. So, when it's time, you are going to get your gender reassignment surgery, but for right now you can't get it because you are not 18 yet, and lived for 2 years, and this is why this is surgery of your orchiectomy, and I believe that you will be very pleased with the results after the procedure is completed. And I want you to know when you have your procedure for SRS completed it will not be like what I have or Deirdre has, but your male thing will inverted inside you." The next morning, Deirdre, Mom Terry and myself, we all go to the hospital where I am taken into the operating room and the surgeon does the work. When I wake up in the recovery room, I see 2 protruding things from my chest, and I know what they are, and I am so happy about it. I then asked for a mirror so I can see how small I am now, and I can't believe how small I am. The surgeon says to me, "Don't worry, it will get even smaller." With that, I give him a smile, and I look at my mom and say, "Mom, please tell me when I turn 18 we can get my gender reassignment surgery done so I can legally be a girl." Mom says, "I got some more good news for you, baby. I have already changed your birth certificate records with not only your name but also the gender says female, and I have notified the school that when you recover that from now on you will be coming to school now as Regina." With this news, I embrace my mom and I thank her for everything, and then I embrace Terry and thank her for everything, and then I embrace my little sister. I don't know how to say thank you for all you have done for me. We all start crying, and we get ready to go home so I can recover. 2 years pass, and it's time to get my gender reassignment surgery, ALS known as SRS, and I am so excited. Again, my little sister Deirdre, my girlfriend now Terry, and my mom drive us to the hospital. We enter the room where I start to get prepared for my final surgery that will make me complete. My mom says to me, "You are going to be a beautiful daughter, and I love you so very much, and I know for a very long time. This is really what you wanted when you were 5 years old." With that, she looks at Terry and says, "I don't know how to thank you for doing this to my daughter, but I am totally grateful for that." Terry and my mom embrace each other and says, "Don't worry. I will take good care of my girlfriend, and we will have a lovely life together for the rest of our lives." With this, I was taken into the operating room where I was given my gender reassignment surgery, and it was done by the same surgeon who did my orchidectomy surgery the last time, and it wasn't before I returned back to my room with all the packing. I have to wait to actually see my new female parts for my bottom half because I already had my breast over 2 years ago. And I can tell you, girls, and I told my mom, there is no pain. I am experiencing, really I am, and it may be because I am just so happy. And I thank my mom, Terry again for everything, and you too, sis. I did not forget about you. So, I have a very happy life now as a secretary at a prestigious office company, and me and Terry were legally married, and we have a very happy life together. Please subscribe for the next part and visit my Patreon page for early access. Link in the comment. Thanks.